Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be talking about castling. So what is castles? It is a special rule in chess actually that involves putting your king on safety so that you can afterwards you don't have to worry about him, and then you can come up with a plan, do other things. But what we want to do is we want to put our king safe because we don't want to be exposed to any checks, any attacks, and our king is just in the middle of the board, doing his thing. So we want to keep our king safe. So here I'm gonna show you a few exercises, I guess not exercises, but we're gonna be thinking about it, right, a little bit. So here we have an Here we have an opening. Just regular thing. People development of the knight, bishop out. Not the best example because it's the London system, but it's for the purposes of learning. Here we're good. We're hanging out. Just regular development. And now castles, it's when the king and the rook, and if you've noticed so far, we haven't moved these pieces yet. We've only moved the knight, we moved the bishop, we moved the pawn, we moved the other bishop, and now because the king is able to, let's say, communicate or talk to the rook, there's nothing in between them, and we haven't moved these pieces yet, we can actually go ahead and castle our king. And what does that mean? We can actually grab our king. Over the board is usually 2 to the side, and then the rook slides to the other side of the king. So we can go here 1. So 1, 2, king goes here, and then the rook automatically goes to the other side. Over the board, that doesn't happen, so you actually have to move the rook, But by the way, so when over the board, it is good for you to move the king first and then the rook, because if you move the rook, then that's not how it should be. You can get away with it, but usually you move the king and then the rook. All right, so that's short castle, when you just castle on your king side, you're closer to this side. All right, so we're gonna move to the next one. Here we're gonna be talking about long castles. What is that? We're gonna go ahead, make similar moves, developing these pieces, and then they make this move, and then now long castles. Long castles refers to when you want to castle your king, put him on safety on the queen side. So the long castle. So we had to make sure that we moved our knight, that we moved our bishop, and then we moved our queen. And now you can see we're able to communicate. But remember, 2 to the side, and then the rook will go on the other side, right? So 2 to the side, and then the rook slides over the other side of the king. So that's long castles, when we castle our king to safety on the queen side. All right. So we're gonna do these exercises here. And let's see, just regular moves. There you go. And then what if for some reason we move our king? What if we move our king? Because we moved our king, we're not able to castle ever again for the rest of the game, because our king already moved. So you can only castle when your rook and your king they have not moved yet. But if you haven't, you say, oh, I haven't moved this, I moved the king on this side, but can I castle this side still? No, you can't, because you already moved the king. You cannot move those pieces if you want to castle them, right? Okay, so in this position, let's think about this. We move the rook. Okay, let's think about this, right? So they go ahead, they make the moves. Because we moved the rook, but we haven't moved the king yet, we cannot castle short castles, or we cannot castle on the king side, but we still have the chance to castle on the queen side. All right, so let's say for some reason here, we go here, they make some moves. Let's think about this. Just queen here, and because we move the rook here, right? So we cannot castle short, but we can still castle long, right? So what if they do something like this? I guess we can retreat, and what if they do something like this? Then we can actually still castle long. Despite us moving the rook here, we haven't moved the king nor the rook on a1, so we can castle on the queen side. All right, perfect. Let's go to the next one. Let me see what this is. Okay, we're gonna just make some moves. We're gonna go for some queen's gambit situation, just queen's pawn, and then here. Okay, and for the purposes of this, they move here. Okay, I want to show you this. So let's look at this bishop, right? The bishop, remember that it hits the diagonals. Looks at all this. I mean, it's looking at the pawn, I guess. But look at this. So my question to you is, you want to castle queenside. Can you castle queenside in this position? I mean, the bishop is looking at the b1 square, you know, c2. You actually can, you know, because, so think about this. You can castle long in this position because the path of the king was not attacked. So if the path of the king is being attacked by something, you cannot castle, even if the knight is there or something, you know, blocking that certain square. If the path of the king is being attacked, you can't castle. But in this case, the king came from here, 1, 2, but it never touched this. Sorry, these squares. So because it was not attacked, then you can actually castle long. All right. And let's move to the last one here. Okay, so just other moves. Just do some like weird moves here. All right. Let's go here. Next move. All right. My question to you, can we castle on the queen side? Now let's keep in mind that the bishop is covering this and it's covering this. Let's cover it with red. Okay. So now we think about it. The king's path to castle, is it blocked? It is, right? So if we were to castle, the king would be on the red here. So it's been attacked. The path where the king goes, it's been attacked. So we can't castle yet, right? Look, it doesn't allow me. So how can we castle? We need to block this diagonal. Then we would just probably move the pawn forward. And now we can castle because we blocked the path of the attack. All right. So then we can actually castle if we block it. But prior to that, we couldn't. All right. So we cannot castle in this position because of the attack again. Perfect. So those are the rules of castling. I'll see you in the next video.